On the small island of Cyprus lives Julien Mevel, a 40-year-old French businessman, swimmer, and advocate for humanitarian and environmental issues. Julien has been living in Nicosia with his wife and 2 sons for 10 years now. As a person who loves the sea and appreciates the enormous beauty nature has to offer humankind, Julien took on his personal adventurous challenge to swim 280 kilometers across the island, from Pomos to Finikoudes, in 28 days. His goals, one may ask. Apart from chasing a personal quest, Julien aims to explore the beauty of Cyprus, highlight the environmental and humanitarian issues the island is facing, and support Generation for Change CY, a grassroots organization in Nicosia, on their mission to provide material support to vulnerable groups in the community. There is always a story behind an admirable initiative. What was Julien's inspiration?
So basically I had this idea, it was back in July 2021. I had a good friend, I still have a good friend, he's in California, his name is Cyril Deromo, he's a real adventurer. He's a guy that I embrace his philosophy of life, living life fully. And he's doing something way crazier than what I'm doing. He's kayaking from San Francisco to Hawaii. Had the first attempt last year, trying again in 2 months. And he's an amazing guy in terms of how he embraces life and every opportunity it brings and how to enjoy life to the fullest. And at some point I was in his support group, let's say, or group of close friends. I thought, why don't I do something crazy myself? Challenging myself and getting to the limit, to the boundaries of myself was something that was very interesting for me. It came to my mind in a split second. In July, I was swimming in Larnaca and I thought, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to swim all around Cyprus. First was a crazy idea, I kept it for me, and then I started sharing the idea. And getting closer to the date, I thought, okay, how do I do this idea? Because I really want to do it. And then comes all the questions of administration, logistics, and preparation, obviously, physical preparation. So I got ready for it by working out, obviously, swimming a lot, and having a coach for getting stronger mentally and physically. And the closest I was to the date of departure, and the more excited I was. And I thought, okay, I can't do that just for myself. That would be very selfish. I would like to participate to a good cause at the same time.
In adventures as such, it is very important to have a support group. Elena, Julien's wife, as well as his friends Jean-Philippe and Mika, have been supporting him since the preparation of the tour to the very end.
So Julien, when he first decided that he would do this tour, my first reaction, I was quite surprised. But then knowing Julien, I wasn't at all surprised because, he comes up with all sorts of different interesting ideas. And basically, I could only be supportive of what he wanted to do because it is a truly good idea and it's really important to help in whichever way we can. And I knew that this was something that would excite him in a way that not many people have the idea to do so. So I could only be supportive of him.
My first reaction when Julien told me about make a tour around Cyprus, it was funny. It was bicycle, motorbike, catamaran. But the most realistic was swimming, and from Pomos to Ayia first. A friend, I said, why? Yes. But like a dietitian, I was thinking, why not? But you need perhaps 6 weeks for that. And because we didn't have any idea. So little by little, he made this project more accurate. And he find after Christmas, I think, to make that. And he wanted to make it in April, because he said before it will be very hot. But at the start of April, when we saw the weather was so bad, we was thinking, I think it's very cold for you. He says, no, I have my suite, okay. But it was very nice. At start, it was both, but at the end, he preferred to make it alone. It was more easy for him and for me, because with my job, it was difficult.
I know Julien from 2008. We were very good friends because we worked together. The first time I saw him, I knew he could be becoming as a good friend, because in a way we share the same thinking, the same values. And when I did in 2013 Camino of Santiago, it was a time that I took also 2 months in my life to do it. Julien came and he spent a couple of days there. And at that time, he really told me he wanted to do something similar. So I was very happy that someone close from me came on the Camino I was doing during those 2 months. So when he mentioned this idea to follow him, well, he didn't really ask for it, but I offer him to be part of the adventure. So I have two, let's say, functions. One is to drive the van from A to B every single day, and the second one is to write a little bit about Julien's adventure in French. And this is also a good way that we decided to share his own experience day to day. It's in a day-to-day basis. So it's like a double function for me. And to be honest, the third part is to see that it's being part of a charity field. That for me also something new for me in the way that I usually make similar things, but I never really think about sharing this to an organization. So I think the good learning or the good teaching for me will be in the future to make a similar project. In this case, Julien is like an inspiration. And the feedback he's having also from friends, family, makes me really think that good adventure is good, but the best part is also to be able to share it. So for me, it's a share swimming adventure tour.
It was very important for Julien to use his swim tour platform as an opportunity to raise funds for a humanitarian cause.
I thought I cannot do that just for myself. I had to do it also for a good cause. Causes that are close to my heart, like refugees cause and maybe the ecology as well. So I came across Generation for Change Cyprus, and I noticed that those guys were really, really active and really good, and I thought, okay, I have to do something with them. That would make a collective project even more interesting. So we started talking and we said, okay, I'm going to do that, and let's do a fundraising to try and help as many families as possible. And that's how the whole thing started.
The amount raised from the campaign will be directed to Generation for Change CY's 2022 humanitarian aid program, aiming to provide 1,550 support boxes with food, clothes, hygiene essentials and kitchen utensils to support people living under difficult circumstances, for example, people at risk of poverty, single parents, large families and refugees. As you can imagine, going on a 280-kilometer swim tour can come with a few challenges.
How do you go around Akrotiri base, for instance? You have to get in touch with the people. Are you allowed to go from a small municipality without warning them, advising them? So all these questions came, and you have to be ready because preparation is everything in this kind of adventure. And adventure is actually a very serious thing. You really have to plan things and think ahead and have a plan B very often. It's obviously the weather, the wind, that I underestimated how important it was, because it definitely makes a huge difference when you have the wind in your back or the wind blowing against you. So there was a couple of stages that were a bit difficult or even very difficult. The three main difficulties were so far in Akamas, but it was also the most amazing because it's like a desert place. So I was alone. I felt like I'm alone on this planet, but that was a good feeling. A mixture of fear and excitement. Second part was Paphos, like going around the Pharos, the lighthouse in Paphos, like the wind changed totally and it was really challenging. And the most difficult stage to date was Akrotiri base. I had to go around, I didn't get authorization to actually set foot on the base. The wind was like 35-40 kilometers an hour, huge waves, breaking and also long waves. So that was extremely challenging for me, like from a sports point of view, physical point of view, but also psychologically, knowing I couldn't actually land on the base was an extra challenge on that day. So I ended up doing 30 kilometers, not only swimming, obviously with the paddle as well. That was really challenging. Like you feel you're digging very deep in your resources, in your power. And it took me like 3-4 days to actually recover. Like a marathon race, you know, it takes you like a month to recover. So that was the biggest challenge.
Now, I'm not going to hide that there was moments of slight anxiety and a bit of fear and a bit of worry about what he was going to do, which was later confirmed, you know, with all the stages that he mentioned before that were a little bit more rough than what he had expected. But, you know, I mean, I believe in him and I know that he's the type of guy that he will find a way. So that's that. I mean, you know, on my side, I do what I can do. Like we spend more time together with the kids. I didn't add so much to it. It's just giving support and that's it.
And as with any adventure, there are always positive stories.
Now, about the really good part about this, there are too many. I will name a few, but there are too many good parts, like feeling in connection with nature, feeling connected with a good friend that's driving the van, and obviously having time to exchange a lot of things about life. Like, we don't have small talk with each other. We don't talk about the weather. We speak about lots of philosophical issues and stuff like that. So that's amazing, the connection. And the nature, the waves, being scared, being reassured to arrive, being happy to arrive, everything. You go through a ton of emotion every day, emotions you haven't felt before. So that's really refreshing again. So that's the best part, and the collective thing, feeling supported by the association, the charity, by my friends, my family. That has been amazing as well. It's like doing a new thing, a challenge. It's like you're not alone in the project. It's like everybody is in this project, everybody is looking forward, excited, enthusiastic, and feeling this energy is something amazing I haven't felt before.
As this tour has reached its end, Julien chooses to take with him a memorable experience that has shifted his views on life and on this island he calls home.
The adventure is over today. It was incredible adventure on so many aspects. It was a personal thing, a challenge. I discovered myself throughout the trip. I discovered Cyprus throughout the trip, and I discovered how much I love being with the nature. And sometimes you want to help out, but sometimes you are a little bit depressed because there's so much to do to help others. But then the only way to handle that is to actually do your part. That's what I learned on this journey. I want to do my part, my tiny little part, so that for me, it makes a difference. For others, it makes a small difference. And this journey is carved in my heart forever. It's the end, and it's the beginning of new adventures, because next year we will surprise people with a new tour, a new charity tour. Because now it's no more Cyprus Swim Tour. It will become Cyprus Solidarity Tour or Cyprus Charity Tour. So it's the end, and it's the beginning of a fantastic journey, and I'll see you next year.